Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hari Hari Bol to all the devotees who led the chanting this morning, starting with His Grace Ramchandra Prabhuji, Pavan Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue with our Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namane. नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा welcome everybody. I see many devotees have come back from Sadhu Sangha. Welcome. Hope all of you had a wonderful, blissful time there. Swasti Kishori Mataji here. Okay, so let's continue. I posted the link in the chat. We are singing Shri Chaurashtakam in this auspicious month of Purushottam, and also one additional bhajan, just reciting the bhajan without translation, which is Shri Radhikashtakam by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. So we'll recite these two and then we'll continue with reading of our Krishna book. Anybody would like to try singing today? Okay, then I'll continue.
Oh, I can try.
Hari Bol. Yes, Mataji. Go ahead. Mataji.
I'm not sure, but I can try. Raji prasidam navanita choram gopaganam chatukula choram aneka janmarjita papa choram choragraganyam purusham namami Shri Radhikaya hridayasya choram Navambuddha Shyamala Kanti Choram Padashritanam cha samastachoram choragraganyam purusham namami akinchani kritya padashritam yaha karoti bhikshum patigehahinam kenapi aho bhishana chora idrik दृष्टश्रुतो वा न जगत्त्रयेऽपि यदीयनामापि हरति अशेषं गिरिप्रसारानपि पापराशीन् आश्चर्यरूपो नानुचोर इद्रिक् दृष्टश्रुतो वा न माया कदापि धनं च मानं च तदेन्द्रियाणि प्राणांश्चरित्वा मां सर्वम् एव पलायसे कुत्र धृतद्यचोर त्वं भक्तिधाम्नासि माया निरुद्ध छिनत्सि घोरं यमपाशबन्धं पिनत्सि भीमं भवपाशबन्धं छिनत्सि सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं नैवात्मनो भक्तकृतं तु बन्धम् मन्मानसे तामसाराशि घोरे कारागृहे दुःखमये निबद्ध लभस्व हे चोरहरे चिराय स्वचौर्यदोषोचितम् एव दण्डम् कारागृहे वस सदा हृदये मध्ये मद्भक्तिपाशदृढबन्धन निश्चलसन् त्वां कृष्ण हे प्रलयकोटिशतान्तरेऽपि सर्वसचोरहृदय नहि मोचयामि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shri Mataji. This last verse is sung in a different meter.
Yes, I thought so.
Karagrahe vasasada hridaye madiye madbhakti pash dridbandhana nischala san Tvam Krishna he pralaya koti shatantarepi sarvasva chaura hridayan nahi mochayami. Okay, and one other thing, whenever we have these like Y at the end, then generally, I mean, even in English it is written like this Y and the next vowel goes together. So then the flow of your singing will not break. So Yadiyanam abharatya shesham. Harat, not harati ashesham. Generally,
Oh,
it's like in Hindi, if you see, the year will go, it will her and ada year. Here, it becomes here. So like that.
okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, it
Thank you.
becomes. So I think it came a couple of times here. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Let's read the translation. All right, anybody, you would like to read the translation? Anybody else would like to read the translation? Okay, I can continue then. I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in Braja as the butter thief, and who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark lustre of a fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering, homeless beggars. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all of the three worlds. Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins. Such an astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible noose of Yamaraj, you sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage. But you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there for a very long time you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart because I will not release you for millions of eons. Hare Krishna. Okay, such a beautiful prayer. Srila Bilal Mangal Thakur ki jai. So yesterday we were talking about, yes, how beautiful this prayer is, that pure devotees, they bind the Lord with the love of their pure devotion. And at the center on Saturday we were talking about how this world is a prison house. Acharya has explained, right? This is Dukhalema Shashvatam. This is Mrityu Lok. And this is like a central jail in the 14 planetary systems. This is the center of the 14 planetary systems. So this is a central jail. So in that central jail, the devotees are so advanced that even in the central jail, like Krishna was saying yesterday in our Krishna book, and Prabhupada was mentioning that for a devotee, this world is not different from Vaikuntha, right? So even in this central jail, the devotees can have their own central jail in the heart, in which Krishna resides. So then that central jail becomes spiritual central jail. Anyway, so beautiful prayer. Another thing I was thinking as we were reading this, that he turns, sometimes we may wonder, okay, Krishna turns the surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggars. Alas, such a fearsome thief, So some people will just run away, reading this. Oh my God, I don't want to become a pauper or wander, homeless beggar, right? Such a thief that Krishna takes away everything from his devotees. Yesterday we were watching another series on Raghunath Das Goswami, and how Raghunath Das Goswami, he was the son of one of the most wealthiest merchants at that time. So it was like billionaire son at that time in 1400s when he was born. But again, by the time he was born, of course, he's a pure devotee of the Lord. So how we see that he's a Prayojanacharya, but yeah, again he gave up everything, Vairagya. Right? Those who don't have anything, if they give up anything, that's not called Vairagya. But those who have everything and give up everything, that's Vairagya. So again, it doesn't matter the material riches of this world, because when you have the the riches of bhakti, then all of these pale in contrast. So, but yeah, all our Goswamis are like that. They're all, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they're all very rich or very exalted, had very exalted positions in the court of the Nawabs and the Mughal Empire at that time. But yeah, everybody became spiritually rich by the mercy of the Lord. Okay, let's ring our Sri Radhikashtakam also, and then we'll continue with reading. Meenakshi, you would like to sing? Okay.
Hare Krishna. Kumkumapta kanjanabja garvahari gaurabha pītanāncitabja gandha kirtinindi saurabha ballavesha sonu sarva vanchitartha sadhika mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Gauravinda kanti ninda chitra patta shatika Krishna matta bringa keli fulla pushpa vatika Krishna nitya sangamartha padma bandhu radhika Mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Saukumarya shrishta pallavali kirti nigraha Chandra chandanopalindu sevya sita vigraha Swabhimarsha ballavesha kamatapabadhika Mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Vishwavanda yovanata bhivandita piyarama Rupanavya yovanadi sampadana yatsama Shila harda leelayacha Sayatosti nadhika Mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Rasa lasya gita narma satkarali pandita Prema ramya rupa vesha sadgunali mandita Vishwanavya gopa yoshita yoshitali adhika Mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Nitya navya rupa keli Krishna bhava sampada Krishna raga bandha gopa yovateshu kampada Krishna rupa vesha keli lagna sat samadhika Mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Sveta kampa kantaka shrugad gadati sanchita Marsha harsha vamatadi bhava bhushananchita Krishna netra toshi ratna mandanali dadhika Mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Yakshanartha Krishna viprayoga santo dhita Nekadanya chapaladi bhava vrinda modita Yatna labdha Krishna sanga nirgatat khiladhita Mahyamatma pada padma Dasya dastu radhika Ashtakena yatsvanena Nauti Krishna vallabham Darshanepi shailajadi Yoshidali durlabham Krishna sanga nanditatma dasya sidhu bhajanam Tam karoti nanditali Sanchayasu sajanam Mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Mahyamatma pada padma dasya dastu radhika Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Shri Radhikashtakam ki jai. Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Okay, let's continue with chapter 15. We started yesterday, which is killing of the Dhenukasura. And Krishna is speaking to Balaramji that everybody there is superior to them and all the demigods are worshipping his lotus feet. Yesterday was Padmini Ekadashi. Padmini means row of lotuses, like lotuses. So it was nice that Krishna knew that it was Padmini Ekadashi. so he was offering lotus flowers to Balaramji, and in terms of his prayers to please his elder brother, also saying that his lotus feet is being worshipped by all the demigods, and all the trees with fruits and flowers are bending to worship the lotus feet of Balaramji. Anyway, so we were reading about the beautiful pastimes of Krishna and his cowherd boyfriends and calves, and now they have also moved on from Kaumara age, which is up to 5 years. Now all the kids are now 6 years old, so they have gone into Poganda. And now, instead of taking the calves along, now they have grown up, so the cowherd men of Vrindavan have given them the authority to herd the cows now, more than the calves. So let's continue seeing what happens. Continue with the adventure. Anybody would like to read today? Alright, I'll start. If anybody else would like to read, you can let me know. You can raise your hand so we can continue. Alright, generally living entities in the mode of darkness obtain the bodies of trees. The impersonalist philosophers are in that darkness, but they eradicate it by taking full advantage of your presence. I think the drones that are all buzzing around you must have been your all around you must have been your devotees in their past lives. They cannot leave your company because no one can be a better, more affectionate master than you. You are the supreme and original personality of Godhead, and the drones are just trying to spread your glories by chanting at every moment. I think some of them must be great sages, devotees of your lordship, and they are disguising themselves in the form of drones because they are unable to give up your company even for a moment. My dear brother, you are the supreme worshipable Godhead. Just see how the peacocks are dancing before you in great ecstasy. The deer, whose behavior is just like that of the gopis, are welcoming you with the same affection, and the cuckoos, who are residing in this forest, are welcoming you with their joyful, sweet cries because they consider that your appearance in their home is so auspicious. Even though they are trees and animals, these residents of Vrindavan are glorifying you. They are prepared to welcome you to the best of their ability, as is the practice of great souls in receiving another great soul at home. As for the land, it is so pious and fortunate because the footprints of your lotus feet are marking its body. It is quite natural for these Vrindavan inhabitants to thus receive a great personality like you. The herbs, creepers, and plants are also so fortunate to touch your lotus feet, and by your touching the twigs with your fingernails, these small plants are also made glorious. As for the hills and the rivers, they too are now glorious because you are glancing at them. Above all, the damsels of Vraja, the gopis, are the most glorious because you embrace them with your strong arms, being attracted by their beauty. In this way, Lord Krishna and Balaram began to enjoy the residents of Vrindavan to their full satisfaction as they herded the calves and the cows on the bank of Yamuna. In some places, Krishna and Balaram were accompanied by their friends. The boys were singing, imitating the humming sound of the drones and accompanying Krishna and Balaram, who were garlanded with forest flowers. While walking, the boys sometimes imitated the quacking sound of the swans in the lakes, or when they saw the peacocks dancing, they imitated them before Krishna. Krishna also moved his neck, imitating the dancing and making his friends laugh. The cows taken care of by Krishna had different names, and Krishna would call them with love. After hearing Krishna calling, the cows would immediately respond by mooing, and the boys would enjoy this exchange to their heart's content. They would all imitate the sound vibrations made by the different kinds of birds, especially the chakoras, peacocks, cuckoos, and bharadwajas. Sometimes, when they would see the weaker animals fleeing out of fear of the sounds of tigers and lions, the boys, along with Krishna and Balaram, would imitate the animals and run away with them. When they felt some fatigue, they would sit down, and Balaram would put his head on the lap of one of the boys just to take rest, and Krishna would immediately come and begin massaging the legs of Balaram. And sometimes Krishna would take a palm fan and fan the body of Balaram, causing a pleasing breeze to relieve him of his fatigue. Other boys would sometimes dance or sing while Balaram took rest, and sometimes they would wrestle amongst themselves or jump. When the boys were thus engaged, Krishna would immediately join them, and catching their hands, he would enjoy their company and laugh and praise their activities. When Krishna would feel tired and fatigued, he would sometimes take shelter of the root of a big tree or the lap of a cowherd boy and lie down. When he would lie down with a boy or a root as his pillow, some of the boys would come and massage his legs, and some would fan his body with a fan made from the leaves. Some of the more talented boys would sing in very sweet voices to please him. Thus, very soon his fatigue would go away. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, whose legs are tended by the Goddess of Fortune, shared himself with the cowherd boys as one of them, expanding his internal potency to appear exactly like a village boy. But despite his appearing just like a village boy, there were occasions when he proved himself to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes men pose themselves as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and cheat innocent people, but they can only cheat. They cannot exhibit the potency of God. While Krishna was thus engaged in the transcendental pastimes, exhibiting his internal potency in the company of the supermost fortunate cowherd boys, there occurred another chance for him to exhibit the superhuman powers of Godhead. His most intimate friends, Sridham, Subala, and Stoka Krishna, addressed Krishna and Balaram with great love and affection thus: Dear Balaram, you are very powerful. Your arms are very strong. Dear Krishna, you are very expert in killing all kinds of disturbing demons. Will you kindly note that just near this place there is a big forest of the name Talavan? This forest is full of palm trees, and all the trees are filled with fruits. Some have fallen down, and some of them are very ripe even in the trees. It is a very nice place, but because of a great demon Dhenukasura, it is very difficult to go there. No one can reach the trees to collect the fruits. Dear Krishna and Balaram, this demon is present there in the form of an ass, and he is surrounded by similar demon friends who have assumed the same shape. All of them are very strong, so it is very difficult to approach this place. Dear brothers, you are the only persons who can kill such demons. Other than you, no one can go there for fear of being killed. Not even animals go there, and no birds are living there. They have all left. One can only appreciate the sweet aroma that is coming from that place. It appears that up until now, no one has tasted the sweet fruits there, either on the tree or on the ground. Dear Krishna, to tell you frankly, we are very attracted by the sweet aroma. Dear Balaram, if you like, let us all go there and enjoy these fruits. The aroma of the fruits is now spread everywhere. Don't you smell it from here? When Balaram and Krishna were thus petitioned by their intimate friends, they were inclined to please them, and with smiling faces they proceeded toward the forest, surrounded by all their friends. Immediately upon entering the Talavan, Balaram began to yank the trees with his arms, exhibiting the strength of an elephant. Because of this jerking, all the ripe fruits fell down on the ground. Upon hearing the sound of the falling fruits, the demon Dhenukasura, who was living there in the form of an ass, approached with great force, shaking the whole field so that all the trees moved as if there was an earthquake. The demon appeared before Balaram and kicked his chest with his hind legs. At first, Balaram did not say anything, but with great anger, the demon kicked him again more vehemently. This time, Balaram immediately caught hold of the legs of the ass with one hand and, wheeling him around, threw him into the treetops. While he was being wheeled around by Balaram, the demon lost his life. Balaram threw the demon into the biggest palm tree about, and the demon's body was so heavy that the palm tree fell upon other trees, and several fell down. It appeared as if a great hurricane was passing through the forest, and all the trees were falling down one after another. This exhibition of extraordinary strength is not astonishing because Balaram is the personality of Godhead known as Ananta Sheshanag, who is holding all the planets on the hoods of his millions of heads. He maintains the whole cosmic manifestation exactly as horizontal and vertical threads holding the weaving of a cloth. After the demon had been thrown into the trees, all the friends and associates of Dhenukasura immediately assembled and attacked Balaram and Krishna with great force. They were determined to retaliate and avenge the death of their friend. But Krishna and Balaram caught each of the asses by the hind legs and exactly in the same way wheeled them around. Thus they killed all of them and threw them into the palm trees. Because of the dead bodies of the asses, there was a panoramic scene. It appeared as if the clouds of various colors were assembled in the trees. Hearing of this great incident, the demigods from the high planet showered flowers on Krishna and Balaram and beat their drums and offered devotional prayers. A few days after the killing of Dhenukasura, people began to come into the Talavan forest to collect the fruits, and animals began to return without fear to feed on the nice grasses growing there. Just by chanting or hearing these transcendental activities and pastimes of these brothers, Krishna and Balaram, one can amass pious activities. When Krishna and Balaram entered the village of Vrindavan along with their friends, they played their flutes and the boys praised their uncommon activities in the forest. Their faces were decorated with tilaka and smeared with the dust raised by the cows, and Krishna's head was decorated with a peacock feather. Both he and Balaram played their flutes, and the young gopis were joyous to see Krishna returning home. All the gopis in Vrindavan remained very morose on account of Krishna's absence. All day they were thinking of Krishna in the forest, or of him herding cows in the pasture. When they saw Krishna returning, all their anxieties were immediately relieved, and they began to look at his face the way drones hover over the honey of the lotus flower. When Krishna entered the village, the young gopis smiled and laughed. Krishna, while playing the flute, enjoyed the beautiful smiling faces of the gopis. Then Krishna and Balaram were immediately received by their affectionate mothers, Yashoda and Rohini, who, according to the time's demands, began to fulfill the desires of their affectionate sons. Simultaneously, the mothers rendered service and bestowed benediction upon their transcendental sons. They took care of their children by bathing them and dressing them very nicely. Krishna was dressed in yellowish garments and Balaram was dressed in bluish garments, and they were given all sorts of ornaments and flower garlands. Being relieved of the fatigue of their day's work in the pasturing ground, they looked refreshed and very beautiful. They were given palatable dishes by their mothers, and they pleasantly ate everything. After eating, they were seated nicely on clean bedding, and the mothers began to sing various songs of their activities. As soon as they lay down on the bedding, they very quickly fell fast asleep. In this way, Krishna and Balaram used to enjoy Vrindavan life as cowherd boys. Sometimes Krishna used to go with his boyfriends and Balaram, and sometimes he used to go alone with his friends to the bank of the Yamuna and tend the cows. Gradually, the summer season arrived, and one day while in the field, the boys and cows became very thirsty and began to drink the water of the Yamuna. The river, however, had been made poisonous by the venom of the great serpent known as Kalia. Because the water was so poisonous, the boys and cows became visibly affected immediately after drinking. They suddenly fell down on the ground, apparently dead. Then Krishna, who is the life of all that lives, simply cast his merciful glance over them, and all the boys and cows regained consciousness and began to look at one another with great astonishment. They could understand that by drinking the water of the Yamuna, they had died, and at that the merciful glance of Krishna had restored their lives. Thus they appreciated the mystic power of Krishna, who is known as Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic yogis. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 15th chapter of Krishna, the killing of Dhenukasura. Hare Krishna. Alright, perfect timing, so let's pause here for today. Yes, these beautiful pastimes of the Lord as Krishna and Balaram enjoying transcendental pastimes with their friends, as Prabhupada says, gives us immense spiritual credits. And we see how their mothers were dressing them, bathing them, and Krishna was dressed in yellow garments because the bodily color of Radharani is like molten gold. So Krishna dresses in the color of his devotees, and his devotees like Balaramji and Radharani, they dress up in blue because Krishna's color is blue. So that is the sweet exchange between the Lord and his devotees. And so many other things, of course, reading these pastimes, as we see Prabhupada saying that Krishna is the life of everything that lives, and just by his glance, like we were reading in the Bhagavad Gita verse, Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu, Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam, right? Krishna is the seed of all the living entities, and he is the life of all the living entities. And just by his glance, as we were reading yesterday, also, he just glances over the material nature, and that impregnates, right? So it is not like the birth of child in this material world, which happens because of the union of the mother and father, but Krishna, just by his glance, actually it was in the yesterday night we were reading, and Prabhupada was giving the example of Brahma Samhita, Angani Yasya Sakali Vidhimanti, that Krishna can perform all his activities by any of his senses. So just by his eyes he can impregnate, right? So similarly we see here, just by glancing, he is impregnating life again into the cowherd boys who had died apparently after drinking the poisonous water of Yamuna because of Kalia. And just as we were talking a couple of days ago, Prabhupada says here, why sometimes Krishna goes, used to go with his boyfriends and Balaram, and sometimes he used to go alone with his friends to the bank of Yamuna, because this is the other pastime that we read about, the Aghasura demon as a snake, when Balaramji didn't come right to play with Krishna and other boyfriends that day. Similarly, now again another Shesha, another serpent is coming, Kalia. So again Balaramji is not there today. It's only Krishna and his other friends. Okay, yeah, it's very sweet. Just reading these pastimes brings so much joy. Anybody would like to share anything else that you liked out loud from today's reading? Or any other reflections of your remembrance of the Lord? Any other reflections from those who went to Sadhu Sangha? Vishwanath Prabhu, Nalin Prabhu, who else you know of? Chirai Prabhu. Anything you want to share? Remembering Krishna while singing, when playing with other devotees, like other cowherd boys in Sadhu Sangha. It's also a blissful experience in Sadhu Sangha. It almost feels like, yes, we are all We're all the little friends of Krishna, and singing and dancing and having a joyful, blissful time. Yes, Naren Prabhu, anything you want to share or say? Okay. I don't see anybody coming off of mute, so maybe still trying to cherish. We're still down in the ecstasy of sadhusanga. Hopefully later in the week we can hear from some of you on your experience in sadhusanga. Okay, so today is Wednesday, as is always our ritual to become spiritual. Buddhir buddhimatamasmi. Yes, so Krishna was saying that I am the intelligence of the intelligent, the life of everything that lives, right? So yeah, as we read these and as we even remember these pastimes, we can remember that intelligence is coming from Krishna himself, that Krishna is the one who's giving us the intelligence to speak. Krishna is the one who's inspiring and giving us the intelligence to ask questions. When we ask questions, even at the center, when somebody is asking questions, when somebody is answering to questions, it is actually Krishna who's inspiring everything to everyone to speak, to ask questions and to answer those questions, because Krishna wants us to learn from those exchanges. It's kind of a learning for everybody, both the speaker, both the asker of the questions and the reciter of the answers. So like that, we can think of Krishna in everything around us as we think of anything that is brilliant in intelligence. So today we will start remembering the Lord as Tejasvinam Aham, which is, it says, I am the prowess, I am the power of all the powerful. So Krishna is the root of all intelligence, he is the root of all power. And what power we just saw today, Balaramji's power. As elephant, he's shaking all those trees, Talavan trees, and everything just like a hurricane. Everything fell down, right? So that power of Balaramji also is Shri Krishna himself. So like that we can think of the Lord when we think of anything powerful. When we move some strong furniture around our house, you can remember that power is coming from Krishna, right? So like that, anything and everything that is powerful around us, the source of that power is Shri Krishna himself. Okay, so let's try to remember the Lord that way. With that, let's conclude for today. Thank you so much all for joining and giving your association. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. पुरुषोत्तम अधिक मास की जय. श्री कृष्ण the Supreme Personality of Godhead की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि.
Hari Hari.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Have
Hare
a great day,
Krishna.
everyone. Hare Krishna.